Now I'm going to start with the second set of numbers, which is for food. I'm going to reduce the size of this. So click on the middle button, restore down, and on the back I have this one. So I'm looking at groceries. They increase by $10 every month, and the same thing with eating out. Now I'm going back to Excel. This is the Excel, and I'll maximize it again. I have 150 here. I will also type 160. Excel is going to understand that you are increasing the numbers by 10 as long as you have two of them. So any sequence of numbers could be filled in by Excel as long as you type the first two. Now I'm going to select the two, go to the bottom right, and press and hold my mouse button and drag it to the right until it's completed. You can do this with both the top and the bottom row if you want, as I showed you at the top in the first video. But here I'm going to show you also how you can copy and paste, just to practice copy and paste. Since these are the same numbers as the ones on the bottom, I'm going to select them, click on copy, and now I just have to click where the first cell needs to show up, right over here. I will click on the image above paste, and all of them get pasted. Now, because copy is done just one, but it could be pasted numerous times, this continues being selected. You see the running line, looks like running around. That means it's still selected for pasting. At the bottom here, I'm going to show you that you can paste it so many times. Doesn't matter how many times you paste it, as long as this is selected, the copy is going to work. I don't really need these numbers at the bottom, so I'm going to undo. Remember, your best friend, the undo button, it's going to take out what I just did. And also, if you don't want this to look like that, if you don't want it to be moving, you should press escape on your keyboard. On the very top, the very left button, ESC. Now I have to do the sum. I can actually copy the sum function from here, but let's do it one more time just to be sure that everybody understands it. So step 1 is to click where you want the result to show up. Step 2, you click on AutoSum. Step 3, check if these numbers are the ones you want to add. And step 4 is to press enter to save it. So one more time, first be on the cell where it will show up. Second, click on AutoSum. Third, check if these are the numbers you want to add up. And fourth, press enter. I'm going to copy and paste the average function here. Remember, average should not contain the whole sum. If you try to do the average, right now I'm going to show you how. You can try to do it. It will add the sum inside because to Excel this is just a number next to it. So you do need to correct it. If you could not grab the border here, it's really hard to grab the borders, really. But if you cannot do that, I'm going to undo here. You should just type in the cell number where the selection needs to end, which is M12. That's what I did yesterday. The message that I saw was an error message because I did not delete the N So I need to take out N and just have M. There you are. If I press enter, it will now save and give me the average for these numbers. I said that I'm going to copy it from the top, so this is what I'm going to do. I'll select these two, copy. You can also use the shortcut, which is Control and C. It shows right there. Then I'm going to come here. It copies two cells, so I need to have space for two cells to get pasted. You always start the pasting selection from the first cell, the top cell. Now paste. Because the numbers here are the same, this also becomes the same. Just as with utilities, this text here is too close to where my result is going to be, so I should move it one cell to the left. I can do this but by cutting and pasting. And this time I'm going to use the right click menu. So right click on the cell, cut, move your cursor here where you want it to be, right click and paste. This needs to be yellow. Remember, from the format painter, you can choose a cell that's already formatted this way. Click on format painter and then click on the cell that you want to have the same format. It may be faster if you just color it right now, but sometimes you would have to use different formats for text, for color, background, and so on. This format painter is going to copy all of them. I'm going to make this bold. The shortcut for bold is Control B, by the way. When you point to it, it shows you. So if you just press and hold, excuse me. If you press and hold Control and you click on B, this is going to become bold. And I have selected the empty cell to become bold, even though I don't have anything in right now. Once I add something, it's going to be already bold. I need the sum for these two numbers to show up over here, so I'm going to click here, click on Auto Sum, verify that it's adding these two numbers, then press enter. This is my sum or my total for food. I'm going to add the dollar sign just like I added it here by clicking on the dollar sign in the number section. I do not want the cents or numbers after the decimal to show up, so I'm going to click on this button to decrease the decimal to no decimals. And last, please fill out this section on the bottom by yourselves using all the skills I showed you for the previous ones. This is everything we have learned about working with numbers and tables in Excel. Please continue to practice. Remember, you could not learn it, you cannot retain it, meaning you cannot remember it after a few months if you don't practice. At least once a week, sit on the computer and do something in Excel. Use the skills that you have already learned. If you want to learn more, there are so many videos in Excel. You can learn so much more just from YouTube. Not to make it complicated, go to YouTube and find videos about Excel. One thing I suggest you learn how to do is graphs. I'm going to show you how to make a simple one. Let's say for the months over here, I want to see what it would look like in a graph to display the utilities. So first you select what you want to be in the graph, Then you click on insert. I will choose this one and maybe that type of a graph. And here it shows me, oops, let me make it bigger so you can see it better. These are the gas. The green is the gas, purple is water, and blue, purple is electrical, blue is water. On the bottom it shows me all the months in the year, and here it shows me how much I have spent each month. There are many other types of graphs. You can play with them. You see that there are lots of options with graphs, so you can use different options. You can make much more complicated graphs. I'm going to undo this one. Let's say I want to have a graph of all of these. It may be much more complicated because there are empty rows here, but you can try, and you should try different ones until you find one that looks good to you. Let's see if it will do a cone. So here the months are on the side and the different categories are underneath. This could be actually a good format, so you can see the trend for each one of them. But if you want it to be the other way around, you need to learn more about charts and see how you can do this. So here you can see in groceries how it increases every month. The numbers we used are just about the same, so it doesn't show you much right now, but if you do a real budget for yourself, you will see the actual trend, which months you have used the most, and so on. Now, these graphs always show up on top of what you were doing. You can always drag them to the side. Let me make this smaller again. Scroll to the left. It's like a picture, so you can drag it down, but you can also make changes to it with these table tools, chart tools. So you can do a lot with charts and you can make them look in many different ways. I'm going to delete it because we don't really need this. Now I'm going to show you how you can add some information on top or on the bottom. Let's say you need additional rows over here. In one of the videos I had posted, it shows how to use these to insert cells, delete, and so on. Here I want to insert a whole row to write something else. So I'm going to go to the bottom portion of insert where the drop down menu is, click on it, and I have to click to insert sheet rows. Here is one more row. It will copy the size of the one that's above it. Now, if you just click over here, it will insert only one cell, and the whole table gets out of alignment. Don't worry if you do this. First, you can undo, and second, you could delete this one extra cell, and it's going to go back in the way it was. If you need to add more, let's say over here, after December or before the total, you want to add something, you can click on Insert and Insert Sheet Columns. This is going to add more. I'm going to undo it because we don't need it. So these are also options you should use and practice with. Last but not least, look at the table formats over here. You do not need to format the whole table by yourself. This is a lot like Word or PowerPoint. And here you can see the different cell styles. So please grab some of your old Excel homework and practice and use all of them.